up, y'all? It's your host, Jordan Mure here, back at it again with another fucking podcast on the Mure Mind. Okay, today's topics are ghosts and spirits, experienced versus inexperienced girls, the effects of suppressed emotions on black children, and finally, soul ties. Okay, let's get it fucking cracking. Ghosts and spirits. I believe in both ghosts and spirits, and I think the difference between a ghost and a spirit is, I think a ghost is something that was like never truly living. You know, I just think a ghost is something that was manifested and or like, you know, someone created it using like, you know, dark magic or something like that. And I feel like a spirit is the soul of someone that used to be on this planet and never fully got its peace. You know, so I feel like you can have good spirits and bad spirits, and I feel like sometimes spirits just stay here because there's a lesson that they haven't fully learned yet, that they have to, I guess, learn over the course of years on this planet before they can finally get their rest. I'm not one of the people that's going to use a Ouija board. I'm not doing that. I'm not contacting spirits. I don't know. I'm not doing these things. My old house, my grandfather, he passed away in that house, and I know his spirit was definitely in there. Whenever I needed any type of emotional clarity or I was going through a really tough time, my grandpa was always there, you know, spiritually to help me get through those moments. So, yes, for me, spirits are most definitely real, and I do my best to respect them as much as I possibly can. As for ghosts, I'm not going to no motherfucking haunted house. I'm not doing that because I feel like ghosts are bad and evil. I feel like spirits are kind of, you know, spirits you can kind of flip a coin and see what you get, but I feel like ghosts are just like evil, like they're evil. So I'm not taking no chances with that shit. But hey, if I'm wrong, go do your Dougie and go have fun with Casper. But I'm not doing that. That's not me. Okay, next, experienced versus inexperienced girls. All right, me personally, I like experienced girls, meaning this: I do not care how many bodies you got, and I do not want a virgin. And here's why. The reason I don't want a virgin is because I don't like the emotional attachment virgins get with their first bodies. Ladies, you can deny it as much as you want to, but you will always remember your first body. Always. Doesn't matter how good he was, how bad he was. You will always remember your first body, and I don't want to be remembered as for your first body, okay? Because that demeans me as a person. I would rather be remembered for the fact that we had good sex and I'm body number 347, but you still remember me because you're like, oh, that nigga know how to fuck. Like, I don't mind that. So that's why personally I like experienced girls. The problem nowadays is a lot of niggas want an inexperienced girl to do things like an experienced girl, but don't want to teach her nothing. And for me, I know I don't want to teach an inexperienced girl anything, so I'm gonna just fuck with my experienced girls. So for all the hoes out there, I myself am also a hoe, so we could be hoes together. You hear me? I like that. We could be hoes together. But yeah, no, I definitely like experienced girls. I've always gone for more mature women, older women, and you know, you could call that mommy issues, but I just like to say I know what I want and I'm gonna go get it. So, yeah. The next topic, the effects of suppressed emotions on black children. Okay. In a black household, me growing up in a black household as a male, one thing that was harped on a lot for me is that I am a man and should act like one, and so I guess what men act like is we don't cry. The issue with that is you kind of create a little mini fucking sociopath because, you know, ever since I can remember, if anytime I would get emotional and cry, my parents would tell me, hey, Jordan, stop acting like a broad. Hey, Jordan, we only have one daughter. Stop acting like this, stop acting like that. So I started to associate crying with weakness, and I knew that I didn't want to be weak, so I didn't cry. The issue with that is crying is a natural human emotion, and it's actually like a washing machine for your brain and your emotions. And when you cry, you cleanse all that out your system. When you don't cry, however, it builds up over years and years and years, and that's why you see these dudes taking their lives or flashing on someone, or you know, just committing these heinous, horrible acts because, you know, they never allowed themselves to feel emotional and or feel weak at times because they felt that weakness was worse than death. That's what a lot of dudes, you know, that's a sentiment for many men in this world nowadays. Weakness is worse than death. And, you know, in a dog-eat-dog world for, you know, in man's society, you can't be weak. Otherwise, you will get taken advantage of. You will get eaten. You will get killed. You know, you won't be anything of value in life. You won't find a mate. You won't do anything, you know, useful in life. So I feel like that's why a lot of dudes definitely aren't big on crying, aren't really big on getting in depth with their emotions. Now, when I say in depth with your emotions, I don't mean you being overly sensitive to the world, because you have to build up some form of a tough exterior to actually be able to survive this planet. What I mean is that when something sad happens to you, it is okay to acknowledge that something sad has happened to you and respond in a sad manner. For me, when my grandpa finally passed away, I didn't cry for the first 2 years that he was gone. It's like it hadn't hit me, you know. I knew he wasn't here anymore, but it hadn't really registered to me that he was just gone, you know. So, and even now I'm thinking about it, because I still haven't fully dealt with the fact that he's gone. Like, I know he's gone, but I haven't cried about it enough to where anytime I talk about it, anytime someone brings up my grandfather, it's still a sensitive and or sore subject for me. But that's just something I have to get through myself, you know. Like I tell you all the time, I am not perfect. I'm not. I don't put up this illusion of being perfect, like I'm the best ever. I'm really not. I have a lot of fucked up things that go on with me all the time. And my hope is that, you know, what y'all seeing me go through, what I go through and being fucked up, y'all are more comfortable to fuck up. Because the thing is, as a human being, you will never truly progress and truly develop if you don't allow yourself to fuck up. Because I think losses are the best learning experiences. You don't learn shit when you win. You really don't. You don't really learn not anything, you know, super constructive when you win. If you're always winning, you're not going to know how to deal when you lose, because everyone's going to lose eventually. No one wins forever. No one. So I think losses are definitely something that they're lessons. And I think sometimes you will continue to lose over and over and over until you learn that lesson. And for me, I've definitely over lost and still had, you know, a hard time learning a lesson. But eventually you will either die or you will learn that lesson. So just don't be too hard-headed and learn that lesson. Another thing for black families and black children, for the women, I noticed they really try to make our women out to be extremely aggressive and extremely masculine, and that's just not. Our women are confident and strong, and I think they think confidence and goes hand in hand with masculinity, and that's just not true, okay? Confidence is an energy type thing. There's no gender to being confident. Strength is an energy type thing, you know, even though it's a physicality type thing as well. You can be, you know, you don't have to go to the gym to be a strong person. I think that's the issue. There's a lot of big built strong niggas that are pussy out here. You know, if we were going to go by the definition of what a strong person is, there's a lot of big built bodybuilder ass niggas out here that are pussy as fuck. And I know a lot of scrawny little women that would give them a piece of their mind, and that's beautiful to me. So I just feel like as a black community, we definitely have to, us as Gen Z, we have to be better and, you know, either don't have kids, or if you're going to have children, make sure you don't give them the same generational trauma that you grew up with. And I know that's hard. I know people don't really want to take accountability and the responsibility for the trauma that they go through. But if you don't want your kids to live the same life and put it like this. If you don't want your kids to look at you the same way you look at your parents, it's some shit got to change. Mandatory. It's some shit that has to change. So I would just definitely say, hold yourself accountable. Be aware of what you say to your children. Bite your tongue sometimes. And I know, you know, even for me, my anger gets so bad sometimes I just spew shit out. But the thing is, you never really know what your child's gonna hold on to, you know, in the memory bank, and how that's gonna affect them as they grow up. And if their memory bank is full of more negative thoughts than positive thoughts, then I'm sorry to tell you, but when they get older, they're not gonna want to associate with you at all. And it's gonna be really fucked up, and you're gonna be really confused, because you're gonna be like, well, I raised you, you know, for example, if you're the only parent that was there, you're gonna be like, but I stayed, you know, I did these things, I did that. The thing is, like, those are things you're supposed to do. You know, that's something that's a unseen, silent, you know, document that you signed when you decided to have this child. And so I think that's the reason why a lot of black children, or just children in general, have a lot of bad relations with their parents, is because parents kind of see, like, they feel like doing the bare minimum is just enough. Like, I feed you, I clothe you, I make sure you have somewhere to sleep. Like, that's enough. And I feel like from ages 1 to 18, that's something that you have to do for your child. Like, you're supposed to do. You shouldn't get no extra brownie points or any extra, you know, praise for being what people are seeing as a bare minimum parent. And I mean, honestly, you shouldn't be looking for praise at all if you're being a genuinely good parent, you don't have to look for praise. You're gonna know your kids are happy, and you're gonna know that they're gonna live and lead a very productive and prominent lifestyle. And I feel like nowadays a lot of parents get caught up in that shit. Like, well, I should get praised for this. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. No, you shouldn't. You're doing the bare minimum. You know, you brought this child into this world, and now it is your responsibility. It's your duty to make sure your child at least has, multiple, changes of clothes that are clean, at least 3 meals a fucking day, and to make sure that they have hot water, and somewhere to sleep. That's it. It's like 4 or 5 things fit on one hand. But these are mandatory things. These aren't something you should get praised for. Oh, I fed my child today. What the fuck? What else are you gonna do? You gonna let them starve? Oh, they have different clothes to wear. They're so spoiled. They're not spoiled. You're giving them clothes to keep them warm. And they don't have to wear the fucking newest Gucci, Louis, or Jordans and nothing like that. But I'm talking about clothes that are going to keep them from as little as ridicule. Because ridicule does exist for children. And some ridicule can't be avoided. But some that has a large impact on the child's, cognitive abilities as they develop and grow older. The fact that they were bullied a lot, psychologically growing up because of how they looked. In fact, if they get bullied a lot psychologically for how they looked when they get older, they're going to actually not be that good at money management because they're going to focus on looking good for everyone else instead of feeling good on the inside. So I would just say make sure your kids have, they're going to have the freshest shit out, but make sure it's clean. Make sure they got clean shit they can wear every single day in a classroom setting, outside. Just give them some clean shit. That's it. And don't expect no fucking praise or I'm a good mom, good dad for that shit. No, you do that shit and you get that shit done, and that's just it. Okay, finally, soul ties. Do I believe in soul ties? I believe yes and no, because I'm pretty sure I created a couple soul ties with a couple women, but I feel like every time I create a soul tie, it replaces the other one. So I feel like, yeah, you can create a soul tie with one person, but I feel like the soul is such a vast thing, such a large, powerful energy source that you can create multiple soul ties within this lifetime. And I think a soul tie is just something to where no matter, like, y'all can't be together, it won't ever work out, but y'all can't never leave each other alone. You're always in the back of each other's mind. You're always thinking about each other, how they're doing, what they're doing. Just little shit that ain't none of your business really, but it's just something that you're always thinking about constantly. So, for me, soul ties, I don't want no more. I really don't. It's exhausting. It's tiresome as fuck. I just kind of want to find my twin flame. And also, it's nothing. You can have a soul mate and it not be romantic. Because I have some brothers, they've graduated to the point where they're brothers to me. And they're my soul mates, and I love them dearly. But there's no romanticness within that, So I feel like people see things like twin flame, soul ties, and soul mates, and they feel like it has to be romantic. And that's not true. It can just be someone you spend a lot of time with and that you care about dearly. And I think once you realize that you can spend a lot of time with someone and care about them dearly, and they can be a soulmate without it being romantic, you'll actually realize you have a couple soulmates in your life. A couple people that you've been through thick and thin with that you will always have eternal love for. That's a soulmate right there. That's a soulmate. So, shit, y'all, just keep your fucking heads up. Can I say that for y'all? Keep your heads up. I know some people out there going through it right now. Like always, look, the world is not a pretty place. It's really not. And there's always going to be a situation that you're going to go through that's fucked up or not okay or damn, this shit just broke me. But the thing is this, if you can say it broke you, it didn't break you. Because leaving you broken is going to leave you speechless. That's the hard truth. So if you say it broke you, it means you still got half a tank full. Get out that situation, keep grinding. Because the good thing about hitting rock bottom, you can't get no lower. You can't. It's only up from there. Not even on no corny shit, like literally, like physically. Unless you die, you can't get any lower than rock bottom. And I feel like the greatest people in this world went through rock bottoms and climbed tooth and nail out of that pit. Because it's like this. Once you climb out that pit one time, you can get out 100 times. I think the problem with the concept of a rock bottom is that people think that, oh, we're only going to go through it one time and then everything's going to be, peaches and cream. No. You might go through, a couple hundred rock bottoms. But like I said, if you can get through it one time, the other times it's slight work. You know it's possible. That's the thing for me. Shit don't gotta be easy. I just gotta know it's possible. That's it. That's my motto for life. The shit does not have to be easy. I just have to know it's possible. Man, just gotta know it's possible. Get through it. I know it may suck right now. It may be shitty, but just get through that shit. You know why? Because you're a fucking soldier. You're a warrior. You got it. I don't give a fuck what society says you look like, act like, or feel like. You got it. You know why you got it? Because you're still here listening to my dumb ass talk. So you got it. You ain't dead yet. You got it. Okay, y'all? I promise you got it. I promise you. If I can put on this motherfucking smile, man, right now, man, you got this. Because I ain't really got much to smile about. So, trust and believe you got this. You can get through it. Whatever you're going through, there is eventually a light at the end of that tunnel, and you just got to turn that corner. Peace.